Hello and welcome to Blue Army TV. I'm sitting after Carlisle being beaten 1-0 at Brunton Park by Harrogate Town in what was one of the most disappointing defeats I've ever seen Carlisle play out, in the fact that we were just so much better than them. We've lost to a team today, or yesterday, that didn't have a shot on target. They didn't have a shot on target in 90 minutes, and they won 1-0. That's how against the run of play it all was. Because I assume everyone who watching this knows that what's happened. A bad pass back from Paul Huntington gets past Thomas Hawley. I've seen a lot of people blaming Thomas Hawley online for the goal, but look, he wasn't in a great position. But you can't just pass the ball into the middle of the goal like what Paul Huntington did. That pass, if Thomas Hawley's in the right position, it's still an awful back pass for him to deal with. And it's bouncing as well. It's not a nice played pass along the floor. It's bobbling. It's in the air. It's a bad pass. And you're gifting teams goals. This is the second match in a row where we've scored an own goal. You know, I really hope that run doesn't continue. But that's the thing at the minute. The only times teams can score against us, because we've got an absolutely fantastic defence. Even you go back to the game before that, Hartlepool, the reason we didn't get a clean sheet that day is a stupid individual error from Owen Moxon putting an absolutely brilliant ball in for their attacker. And now you take out really, really stupid mistakes out of them 3 games. We should have had 3 sheets in a row today. We should have got a clean sheet against Hartlepool, but for that bad back pass. We should have got one at Barrow, had it not been for that own goal by Barkley. And we should have had one today because they didn't have a shot on target. We've scored a stupid own goal. It's not even like the Barkley one. It's a lot worse than the Barkley one. Because you could argue that with Barkley, if he hadn't have done that, made that challenge, where he's obviously put the ball in his own net, there was a lot of danger in that position. Like, he couldn't leave it. That wasn't an option for him. Like, if you leave that ball, it's a goal for Barrow. And it's one of them ones where it's like, well, he's put it in his own net, but realistically, Barrow would have scored anyways, regardless. But this one is nothing like that at all. It's an awful back pass under no pressure whatsoever. Thomas Hawley is a mile away from the ball. It just goes right past him into the goal. And the Harrogate fans absolutely loved it, and as they should, because you know, I've seen us get our fair share of them in the past. One springs to mind when we played Ian Holloway's Grimsby in the relegation battle in League 2 that year, where they passed it back to the keeper and he sort of just let it roll over his foot. You get these type of goals, but it's really, really mind-boggling why, even though we've played absolutely brilliantly for the last few months, it's 3 games in a row where we've made a really bad error that's just led to a goal, and they need to be cut out, because other than these errors, that the team are absolutely brilliant. Like, I've seen people say that Carlisle weren't at it today. They didn't have the finishing touch, but we had so many shots, so many shots on goal, so many big chances. We had so many corners. We had free kicks in dangerous positions on multiple occasions. Good chances quite a lot. And Harrogate defended well. They defended really well, Harrogate. But we created enough chances for us to score at least one. One springs to mind with Patrick. Gibson had one. I think Jack Armour had one at one point. You know, we had chances to score, and we were just lacking in that final third, which is maybe a little bit of a concern, because obviously Christian Dennis has scored the vast majority of our goals this season, and if he maybe loses that sort of finishing touch, like he did against Harrogate, maybe we're lacking that second goal threat. But I don't think that's as big a problem, because obviously we've had Amani Patrick scored when he's been given the chance in the team. Kimani Gordon's had a really good start to his Carlisle's career. He's scored 2 goals already, having only signed, the end of last month. But yeah, I wouldn't be too concerned about this result. It's Harrogate are a voodoo team, aren't they? They come to us, and every single time when they get a result. They've been in the Football League, I think, is it 3 years now? We've played them 7 times. We haven't won any of those games, and we've been, we didn't really look like winning any of those games. Except maybe today. I think this was probably one of our better performances against Harrogate because I've seen some shockers. Every Carlisle fan's seen some shockers against Harrogate. I mean, even earlier in the season when that 3-3 brilliant game down at their place, I was there. You know, we were quite lucky to get someone out of that in the end. I think it was a last-minute scrappy goal that won us, that got us a point there. But yeah, these results are going to happen. They are going to happen. No team's perfect, you know. Even with this loss, I think we're still firmly top of like the form table, as people call it. They look at the last 7 games. But yeah, not too concerning yet. But it's a game that we probably could have done with winning, because we would have been in a lot better position. And it's frustrating because Northampton dropped points as well, which obviously I'm glad about. But if we'd have won today, we'd have gone 4 points clear into third, into the automatics. We'd have been 4 points into them. Now, you know, Northampton would have had that game in hand, but they're being faulty at the minute. They're not playing really well, Northampton, at the minute. So, on better form and 4 points ahead of them, that would have been such a good position to be in at this stage in the season. And I'm sure we'll get that chance again. We'll probably get that chance again next time we play in a couple of weeks' time. With the way Northampton are playing, I think they play next weekend and we don't. Northampton, they've got them games in hand, haven't they? They've won on us. But yeah, disappointing result. I don't think anyone was particularly dreadful. I think the team played okay. It wasn't. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we played well, but we played a lot better than Harrogate and probably deserved to win in the end, or at the very least get a point. Because, like I said, they didn't have a shot on target, Harrogate, and they've come away with a win. You know, I think any Harrogate fan will admit that they were lucky. I'm sure their manager would even say, I'm sure every single one of them players on the pitch would say that they were lucky that day. But teams get lucky, and teams get unlucky. And I've seen Carlisle be on the receiving end of, you know, luck and bad luck. It's just how football works. It's not a defeat to get up in arms about. Because look, we've had such a busy run of games, and we've been good in a lot of them. We've won some important games. Cumbrian Derby against Barrow, we won convincingly. Big rivals Hartlepool, we battered them as well. So a 1-0 defeat to Harrogate, who seemed to beat us anyways. A 1-0 defeat to Harrogate, yeah. It doesn't seem like the end of the world at the minute. But we'll see. If we bounce back from this result next week, this is forgotten about entirely. Like, very, very quickly. I quite like going on Footmob or One Football and seeing the or any sort of table, League 2 table you can find, and having the 5 Ws. It makes you look really cool, and we've got that 1L. So we're going to have to win the next 5 to get back to that 5 Ws. But it'll happen. It'll happen. And I just hope it happens sooner rather than later. Because I think this team's good enough to go up. I think we're still firmly in the fight for them automatic promotion places, and we've kept the squad together. Another thing to talk about, Owen Moxon went off injured. I think Paul Simpson said that it was a dead leg. It's nothing to worry about too much, but it was a real concern for a bit, and I don't think anything's official on what he's actually done. Paul Simpson's indicated that it wasn't too bad, but it might be one to watch. I don't think there's anything too wrong with him, because he's one of them ones where he comes off. He's not getting pulled off. I think it's more of a precautionary thing than anything else. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and in a bit.